don't do that. I've seen what the mail does to media mail. Don't do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, in that case, you can use that as an associated object from that specific village, and deliver them without issue.
Yeah. How far was the village from?
That's really great because they rolled a 20 and that was going to be a mishap on like any of these. Except for very
That would have been
familiar.
great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
After everything, you just kill them with a teleportation spell.
Yep, because it would have too, because it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would probably not survive 3d10 force damage.
And we're not even like right there to heal them.
Yep.
That's
We
funny.
don't even necessarily know where they would go.
Yeah.
We just ocean gate them.
What a send off.
Oh man.
Oakvale Farms.
That's right.
See that?
Yeah,
Yes.
5 Oakvale Farms. Wow, narrow miss. There was an alternate reality where they died, and that.
There you go. Beep boop. In an alternate reality, Alice is dead.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they'll,
this
Probably
is
a better
satisfying.
idea anyway than appearing in the middle of Loomis suddenly.
yeah, that was the idea. Like it would, Clyde wasn't keen on just like, hey, here are the keys to to our capital. But instead, like this way, that they at least have to like presumably present themselves to some guards at some point who can like make some layers of like separation from any crimes they commit for Clyde.
Right.
So I think Ellis and Tomothy, they report in that landed right on target. Clyde didn't lie. Locals say we're in a place called Oakvale Farms. We said we just coming in on the road, heading into Loomis on a pilgrimage. There are some others that we spied that were doing something similar. They said they were pilgrims, and then everybody just kind of nodded and gave them some respect. So we're trying the same thing.
Smart.
We can already see Loomis in the distance. It's still a day's journey, but there's something I don't know quite how to describe. A great shining light on a hill with a rotating construct that looks like petals of a flower shielding the city at night. You guys know we'll say that like this is like it's later in Loomis than it is in like the Free Cities. So man, I'm definitely not keeping a sharp track of the various time zones in this low and otherwise spanning game. But we'll say
on the mountain in space.
yeah. We'll say that like there it's still night in the Free Cities, and your spy crew it's like they're like moving in like with it's after dawn now, but they like report in like after like a couple hours and give you some info. Yeah. Loomis, they can see Loomis. It's an immense city with this like literally like burning like radiant light that is at night. There's like this construct that like provides some like darkness to the city around it. And then they say like during the day the petals seem to roll back and the city was bathed in its light, and it shines, and we can see inward is the city and the light, and outward is just a storm in all the directions that we can see.
Huh.
Wow.
How would you assume just looking at that, Shippy would be able to make an entrance. Is that something where we can still get to the outskirts and work our way in, or can we still land relatively close to Loomis with that going on?
Yeah, they reply. Right now, so far as we've seen, the clouds cover. There is the sun this morning did not pierce the clouds. The light above the city is the only thing illuminating this place.
Hmm.
I assume it seems thinner. The storms seem thinner up there above the city, but it's hard to tell from in here.
So it's almost like the light acts as its daylight for the city, basically.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ellis. Let us know if there's any more you wish to tell, but keep the channels open. We'll be actively listening.
We'll tell Ellis to keep safe and good luck.
And keep their wits about him. See who seems like they might be friendly.
Yeah, they report in. They tell you they'll do they have did they take a communication devices? They took those like message stones.
We have a sending stone that I have one of, and we have our book.
Mhm.
So I
Two
can,
methods of communication.
yeah.
And Batarius says, I'm happy to check in on them every few hours if you like, and let you know if there's anything to know.
I think that's a good
Please
plan.
do.
Thank you.
Beep boop. You are down within Shippy.
Beep boop. Yep, I've got one leap loop plugged in and annoying leap loop splayed open, parts wide scattered everywhere so I can see how to rig up this other leap loop.
Yeah. Because you're trying to create a housing for this leap loop that you took from the archival bastion,
Correct.
and also you're trying to allow Shippy to access the core, the memory of either both of the Shippy or both of the leap loops, the leap loop and the leap loop core, because you also have like that extracted leap loop heart. So are you trying to do that like same like Shippy interface for both of these, or just
Yeah.
the core? Okay,
Yes, indeed.
cool. There's many hours of work with Shippy trying to be as helpful as possible, and Leap Loop, as long as he's still conscious in any of this process, with the like disassembly and stuff that you're doing to help figure out how he works, just being very loudly encouraging to you. Yes, just like that, my friend.
And how does it
One
feel?
little panel in my core will be exposed.
And how does this one feel here if I move this a little bit to the left here? Is that okay?
Yes, it feels all fuzzy on my left side.
Perfect. And what does this part do exactly?
I have no idea.
I unplug it real quick.
Just gets hurt.
You still there, Leap Loop?
No words.
I plug it back in.
See, it must not do anything.
Yep, does nothing. I leave a note next to that one and like highlight it just in case I need it again.
Emergency turn off. Yeah, why don't you give me one of your tinkerer's roles, please? And this is in the workshop of Shippy that you've created, so this can be taken with advantage.
That's double proficiency, right? That's what I.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you already get like, yeah, because you're already so skilled. I think I had to work out a way to like make it an actual improvement for you.
So that's God, I can't math. 31?
31.
Yeah, 16 plus 15. Yeah, no. 32.
Yeah, you rapidly, with the like help
Be
of
right back, guys.
uh, with the help of Shippy as a, or should not Shippy, but as a, with the help of Leap Loop as a guide of how this is supposed to be, hooked up normally, and you can like begin to figure out what had been done to this thing that connected it to this, the archival bastion and the wall itself. This Leap Loop, it, and like you also identify, like it has some significant design differences from Leap Loop, and like you look at it and it does not have that like same like collar thing that like like a priest's collar that Leap Loop has, but you see that it does, you do find like on its neck like its name engraved, and this one is 199P 1 P.
199. What?
199P 100P.
Oh, what's 9?
And you see these the designation, like the designation on its neck, and you see like it is like on where these like looks like these vents or something are, and you can see these like as you like practicing open like these, this thing was very much designed differently, and like it has like vents that are like designed and they like shoot like through the torso and like down out like the like out the out of its like legs effectively, like that's at the sides of its legs, um kind of angled downward. Curious with that roll, it's who you think that this is probably made to like allow like to propel liquid or air through this creature. But you also see that this leap loop has been very much disassembled and remade in some ways, where its core, like so much of its systems are like no longer internally connected, but have been like detached and like fused, or like where they were like fused or like bound into the wall where it had been connected, and it's been severed from all of that. And so you're like going through and trying to like reconnect things where you can, where essential, just kind of like close off like systems and stuff where not essential, and just like figure out like a baseline of getting this thing running or operating again. And you think that you it's going to be, yeah, like it's going to be a lot easier to get this thing like fused into the wall of Shippy first, like in a way that similar to how it had been done in the archival bastion. That will mean like it won't be able to move, it'll have like some limited capacity, but that's the like basic way you think you can get it turned back on.
Quick question before I make any rash decisions. Well, it doesn't really matter because I can take it off. But the space where it says like air or liquid could come through it, is that like a cooling system for this leap loop or what?
Yeah, with that roll, you think like this leap loop is like has like it's designed a little bit sleeker than leap loop. It could, you can imagine this thing like they're like elements within it that like within like the intake thing at the neck that seems to like propel things. So like you think this could be used to like provide propulsion underwater?
Could I maybe use it to propel flames for flying through air, which is like water, but
Air is
thinner?
a lot like water. You think
Scuba
the
boop?
it's some similar, definitely some similar features and things would be at play. You don't know if this particular leap loop was designed to shoot flames out of itself and fly. You get, yeah, but you're not, yeah. It's definitely in the realm of possibility for you to work on if you wanted to.
Sounds great. Let's get it on first and see if its voice is as annoying as the other ones.
Is Leap Loop still powered down or
No,
powered
he's
on?
on. He's on. Leap Loop, what do you think about these intake valves?
An exceptionally novel design. I can only wonder at what purpose they might serve.
I
What
think
interesting places this loop could have gone to. And what strange stories it could have learned.
I'm hoping that we get to find out soon. I'm hoping it can fly.
Is this leap loop just a ram air or like a air ram intake turbine? Like, what is this? I want to see this thing fly. I'm excited. I'm hearing about this thing having jet propulsion.
Yes. Also, can Togetots be in the
I'm
room?
getting stoked.
Yeah,
What?
Togedots can take a break from purging enemies from the embassy.
Good. I need him here. He has some components I might want to think about.
Aw, what? No.
Things from Togetots?
Not cannibalizing. He's got a different system I could build. I'm looking for inspiration in my build.
Ah. Inspiration.
He's been here too long. You can't kill Togetos.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never. He's his own
We've
being.
grown attachments to Togetots.
Togetots is a living soul, or at least from what I understand, Togetots is actually like a soul that is alive. Leap Doop, not so much. Man, I was really hoping to get there in person to see Jared's face today, and all of your faces.
Oh, there's a pickle face.
Oh,
Big old pickle.
No, pickle.
Big old pup.
Yeah,
Big old.
big pup. Big happy pup. Makes me miss having a giant dog.
Ugh,
I was just thinking that.
it's fun. He just takes up so much room on this bed, which he's not ever supposed to have been on, but whatever. I lose that battle.
My buddy's got his German Shepherd and see her running around, and I'm like, me missing a chocolate lab. I'm like, oh, big dog would be great. I need a big dumb dog.
Ugh.
Dumb dog.
Big dumb doggies.
Yay.
All right then. Is this the moment? Are you turning on?
Well, let me do one more once over. I think we're good.
I'm ready to destroy it. Should it show any signs of contamination?
Hey, let's keep that blaster pointed in a helpful direction. Don't blow anything up just yet.
Directly at our potential enemy. Yes.
I forgot how much I appreciate you. Yep. Shippy, can you shoot some power in here?
There's no need for that violence, my friend. Leap loops are peaceful creatures.
This one does look like. I mean, you don't have any weapons.
I'm
This-
quite harmless.
You've got no weapons?
None at all.
Like,
I
what
was
do you-
meant to be as what was the word?
An ambassador or a
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just
Uh,
stopped talking for a second. I was like, what? He stopped? Was that
I
on
was
a cord?
marketing. Well, not leaf loop in this case.
as aphasia.
Yeah.
I was meant to be as non-threatening as possible. Put all at ease.
But like, what happens if you run into a dangerous situation? You just
I'm crushing
Like
you.
getting smashed into by a mountain.
exactly like that. Anyways,
If only he had a weapon to fight off that mountain.
Shippy, can you power up this leap and see if it works?
You got it. Power charges through this little like station, this little like housing you've made for this leaf loop. Do you think it's like vertical or is it like laying on the table?
Oh, I thought it was plugged into the charging point, so I assumed it would be vertical.
I mean, this is a super arcanotech workshop. So what you envision, you can make.
Vertical.
The
It's on the.
imagination, only limitation.
It's vertical, and it's got 10 squared just running all around it.
Yeah. 10 squared is like running around like there's like crackles of energy that 10 squared like goes and like repairs and fixes and like it's just like attending to minor pieces. This leaf loop is on the wall at like just maybe like a slight incline, and like parts of it are like like open and parts of it are like clearly like wired into this housing and stuff that you've created for it. Chippy says, I'm getting nominal signs of activity. I can't quite make out any. Oh, hi there. And the eyes of this 199p, 1 flicker open. It looks at you and you can see that like its eyes are kind of like this green yellow and have like a vertical pupil in them. It looks at you, beep boop, and appraisingly at leaf loop, Togetots, who says, look at its eyes. Or sorry, that's a leaf loop as Togetots. Togetot says, look at his eyes. Clear signs of devilry. Vertical pupil. Preparing to purge.
Hey!
Oh, good thoughts. Stop.
No,
You see this this other leaf loop, like as you like, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
no killing things.
Purging will wait until orders are delivered.
You see this loop model like on the wall, like one of its arms, the one that's not like wired into the wall, like lifts up, it looks at it, and then like reaches down and like part of its side, like just like a little like pocket or thing like opens up and it like gets out like looks like some paper and some it's not like it's like this, it looks kind of like a spongy material or something, and really rapidly just like rolls it up in paper and like with one hand like quickly like lights this hand rolled cigarette, takes a long drag and not smoke but like this moisture filled like mist kind of like it comes off of it, and it takes this deep drag. It's dry as fuck in here.
Yeah, we're in the air. You smoke?
I hydrate.
Hello, my friend. Young Loop. Tell me your name and of your many travels.
What the fuck's with Grandpa?
Oh my god, thank goodness you are normal. This is Leap Loop. He's one of your. I mean, I don't know that he's older than
Tayron's
you.
laughing in game. Like he is laughing in Like a character.
So now that we have this new leap loop, I can throw this one overboard, right? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and get to it.
No, leave him alone. Don't do
No,
that.
no murdering robot.
Yeah. Oh, you know the loops we can get. Maybe.
Sorry,
Oh,
the
Pickle's in the
doc
game
won't let me
now.
play. Okay. Your loop, he's leap loop, and we stole you from an underground
The
Yeah,
best.
pocket
Bible
dimension. Yeah, that's the one. I thought you wouldn't remember any of that. Do you remember that?
Hard to forget. You can call me Iggy.
Iggy.
Nice.
Well met, Iggy.
Iggy.
I get it.
I mean, that makes sense. Hi Iggy. How much do you remember?
I remember being tortured in that place for a really long time.
Hmm.
You're the first that ever caused a problem.
Not so much of a problem as like, helped. like a big help.
Kind of our gang.
Help me cause a problem for the Rememberer.
Oh God.
Ooh, what does he know?
So you
The long drag of a mist-filled cigarette.
do you need some water or something? Like, I'm sure we could get some.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you have like a big pool.
Um,
I'm gonna make a kiddie pool for this guy.
Shippy,
I'm also kind of stuck to this wall.
do you have a pool? Yeah. The wall thing was just a means to an end at the moment. We're missing a lot of you. So, Shippy, do you have a pool on board? No?
Not at the moment, but we could sure have one installed.
You are a pleasure yacht after all. I figured hot tubs or something.
I'm pretty sure I used to have at least a hot tub and a sauna.
Used to.
Hey, Leap, Shippy. Oh God, there's too many fucking robots. Shippy, can you run some diagnostics?
Which diagnostics are those?
Can you see what is happening as we chat with our friend Iggy? I hope you don't mind. I just want to make sure you're working and everything.
Sure thing. I'd be happy to run any diagnostics you'd like, and any that Iggy consents to.
Yeah, Iggy, you fine with this? I'm gonna work on some water.
It's hopefully less invasive than the Rememberers. That's fine.
Did you just
Give me
plur?
yeah. What do you let's see, battle your dog.
Did you
what do you
plural remember?
Iggy has mentioned the Rememberer twice now.
I think it was possessive, not plural.
Okay, just checking.
What's Beep Boop thinking about right now?
What am I thinking about, Beep Boop? It's excited and trying to figure out how much this guy remembers before the incident.
Okay.
What does he know about the Rememberer?
Yeah, he says, yeah, be happy to help. thanks again. Well, I don't know if I said it in the first place, but thanks for getting me out of there.
You didn't, but no problem.
Jesus.
I hope I haven't, been saved from one prison and taken to a new one.
Oh God, why would I? No, this. You notice that we're like almost the same.
You have nothing to worry about, my friend. They just paid off their indentured laborers and sent them on their way.
Ugh,
So yeah, not a prison.
we're just on a fact-finding mission, and I'm trying to figure out where I came from. I came to the Bastion for, knowledge seeking, and just so happened to free you.
Knowledge only tends to flow one way in the Bastion, and I certainly remember a lot less than when I went in there.
Hmm.
It's a particular discomfort having every memory you've accumulated constantly examined to see if it should be stripped from you or left to ripen for a better day.
And that's not like a USB or that's not like a quick connection. They examine every memory in real time. How long does it take to extract memories if they only take certain ones? That sounds horrendous. I thought it was a lot more. I would have hoped it was a lot more efficient than that. I'm sorry. Iggy, that sucks.
The bandwidth requirement for this absurd.
What is the bus bandwidth on that library? Jesus.
I didn't know you knew so much about computers, Taron.
I've been hanging out with enough of you guys. I mean, I've got to learn eventually.
I appreciate that. So you do you remember how long you were there?
It's difficult to tell the passing of time in the Bastion. I said you tell me about, well, uh, hmm. Tell me, have the peoples of the sea returned?
You got to be more specific about which sea.
And which peoples? Wait, I'm there.
I know. I'm like,
Hey, hey,
can't
Togatots,
find
can you go check if the others have any interest in being down here real quick? Clearly, this thing isn't going to kill anybody.
Only if you are sure you can contain this potential threat.
Yeah, I got it. He's attached to a wall. That's Togatots, by the
Where
way.
the deviousness of evil.
Yes, thank you. Very
Gives you a
much.
sharp nod, turns on its heel, and marches out of the room with a clank.
10 square.
You guys are variously approached by Togatots, who says,
Captain Beetboop requires your assistance in the interrogation of our newest prisoner.
That's not what I said.
I didn't know we had a prisoner. I'll run over.
One imprisoned in the workshop.
Being very concerned all of a sudden. Zero march down there. Prisoner.
What?
I think what Beef is getting at, go down to. Take a break from all my communications.
yeah.
I think when we see Beep Boop in there working on Iggy. It kind of clicks into place. Oh, okay. Togetots is being Togetots.
Yeah.
I have to always run a translation filter with Togedots.
Yeah, you see this pulling like the last of the just like moisture from this device, this cigarette thing. Iggy looks at each of you as you come in. They're Nazira. Oh man, how do Nazira, I think you can give me an insight check. I think Quilla can. Who has Mind Blank or Fortress on, Intellect Fortress on?
Oh, do I still have that? Beep
You
beep.
guys like
Go back
yeah.
to.
You guys have some daily castings that you can tell me who's got it right
I
now.
feel like since Xerox is with us, you might
Xerox
not
is
have
back,
me.
so Mind Blank might go back to Xerox.
It depends on if we've had a long rest since between if we've had, I think we had a long rest, so my assumption is that Xerox has it right now.
Yeah.
So I
okay.
probably don't.
Yeah, you probably
That's-
don't. Sorry,
Okay,
Quilla.
I do.
Yeah,
I got
I
a
think-
31 of whatever we were rolling.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. What
definitely
were
got
we
a 30. I
rolling?
got a
What were we
31 of
rolling?
whatever I was rolling.
What dice do you have?
I rolled a natural 20, and I'm just like, all right, add 11.
Wait,
Uh,
yeah, what are we rolling?
this is an insight check.
An insight. Okay.
Right, okay. This will be much more. That'll be a 20.
Right. 19.
You, I think, Nazira, Quilla, you, and yeah, I think Xerox and Noose, you can make this roll as well. Like
19.
19. I think, like, yeah, all three of you guys notice Iggy's eyes definitely like linger for a moment longer on Quilla, and unless anybody else is coming in. But like, yeah, they like look at Nazira and like quickly just like slide off, look at Xerox, quickly slide off, and like move to Quilla and like linger for a moment.
Do I know you,
What
friend?
are you thinking about, Quilla?
World.
Honest-
Noose does not notice.
I
And
think
what is Noose
I-
thinking about also?
Oh yeah. I think I'm thinking about the message from Vance, and I'm worried deeply about my family and thinking about the trading routes. So, thinking about the seas and the problems there. I think that's probably what's plaguing my mind.
Yeah,
With probably like ping-ponging on a lot of different thoughts, but like that's probably
the big
the big
like,
thing
you're
that
like,
I'm
no, I need
thinking
to
about.
focus on this right now.
Yeah, it's gonna
But then you're
been-
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Noose, what are you thinking about on the surface level, if you will?
Probably just eager to get going.
Yeah. Continually brooding in the shadows, waiting for a chance, thinking about a chance to slit the Whispered Litany's throat.
Yeah. Be thinking I'll probably be hiding around. I'm not great with diplomacy. Might just be spying from the darkness during this meeting.
Yeah.
So who are these people from the sea? There's multiple seas, and
People of the sea.
They have not returned. I don't think it's my place to speak of them.
how can I tell you if they've returned if I don't know who they are? Is it obvious? There's some sea people.
I think you would know if they had returned.
Well,
These
Does this ring any bells
Ominous.
for me with my ties to my time on the ocean?
Yeah, history
I
check.
don't know any legends.
I'll start running introductions. This is Quilla and Zira and Zazira.
Hello.
Yeah, like you're kind of in that same boat. It's just like who are you? Like you've heard of like mer people. Like you've heard of like there's like even like some like stories of like like tritons and stuff like living out in the ocean somewhere and whatnot. But like people of the land and like trading companies that like there's not a lot of like interaction with those groups, and like it's commonly just assumed that they're either pretty remote or in just such small numbers or something that
Best known.
Does it ping anything with Elven history class? With my
What's that, right?
does it ping anything from my history knowledge?
Yeah, you can give me a history check.
Okay.
He's talking about krakens, obviously. They
No,
used to
that's
roam the earth.
like 14. So
Okay.
probably not.
Yeah.
Let's
I
make
would-
that a 19. Let's make that a 19.
Oh, are you doing Flash of
Wait,
Genius?
can you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, let's just make that a 19.
Oh.
Think harder.
Can I also reference it with the library?
Yeah,
If the library has any mention of any phrases like that?
yeah, yeah. You definitely can start doing some investigation on that as well. But yeah, I think like with your history check though, you think that like the elves have a lot of stories about just like all the peoples that scattered, all the like good people like even before the rise of the Imperium and the necessity of the Secret Kingdom to become this enclave, there were lots of stories of great things and civilizations and peoples that were lost or like when also were destroyed or like when were taken away, like so many things that like someday like the elves often talk about like someday we'll get to like leave the Secret Kingdom, we'll like get to explore, we'll get to like see like where these how these tales all ended. So there's like a lot of questions that like are kept alive in this tradition and like not as quite as many answers. Um but yeah, I think like I think you could certainly investigate, yeah, the library. That's not as quick. Yeah, it'll be a little bit of time. And you can start doing that. Like start flipping through it as you come in here and listen to the the interrogation of Iggy. But we'll come back to that, I think, here.
What were you made to serve these people? Clearly, you're of watery origins.
All the loops were created to be sent out into the world into specific places, and were designed to facilitate gathering of information from those places. We are all of us spies.
Oh.
That's not quite a fair description, I think. Only ever wanted to tell and share stories.
Spies make sense. Yep. For Sister remembers exact purposes.
Right. The Bastion was meant to collect as much information about the world as possible. It is never saw outside of it, but I could tell that it is suspended in a very hungry place.
This is the plane of negative energy.
The Rememberer feeds what is lost to history, what is lost to memory, what scraps of knowledge that only we, Lukes, know. And it feeds those scraps to whatever it is out there that hungers. And by that, it secures its tenuous place there. Always searching for something that I didn't know. The rememberer wants to find something, but it doesn't know it.
I mean, her brother.
Hmm.
She. Yeah, wants to find him.
Do you have like a sworn allegiance to Sister Remember?
No, she got tortured by her.
Give me beep boop.
Yep.
Give me another tinker's check. Is it like the Iggy kind of like just shudders and like reaches kind of just like habitually towards like with the one free hand like rolls another one of these like mist cigarette things and like ignites it and like lights.
I rolled a 32. Does anybody have any water spells? I'm out this morning.
Spend 1,000 years in someone's dungeon, having each slice of your memory taken away piece by piece, and see if you have any commitment to their cause.
That's fair, and I mean no offense by it. I'm just these great ancient magics have ways to compel.
You Bipu, you see a beginning of like as you like continue like work on things like 10 squared like is like still like going about like continuing to work on Iggy's body and the housing and stuff, and like you notice 10 square is like tapped on the core of Iggy to like draw your attention to it. And you examine this and you see beginnings of like hairline fractures throughout the core that were not there before. I
Iggy.
don't really know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
I splashed some water on Iggy. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, everybody, be careful with the questioning. Iggy, you stay calm. You break in a little bit.
What's wrong?
Apologies if my questions are stressful. I'll see if I can get some water and I'm gonna run off somewhere and see if I can find like a basin of some sort and some water to pour into it.
Yeah. Sure, there's like somewhere nearby the port, like, and you're like, because Shippy is like in one of like the little like harbor areas of the mountain, and I'm sure there's like, at the very least, like a emergency like water creation thing that's like
Yeah.
meant to like put out fires or whatever, so you can like find something not
Yeah.
to get
I'll
some water.
grab a bin and some water and bring it back, and then
I'd have to retcon my spells to actually be any of help, but for right now, I'm just gonna cast Aura of Purity nearby or on me and just hang out in the area and see if we can't minimize. I don't know what's gonna happen, but just kind of minimize potential effects of a core, maybe going critical.
That's
But yeah,
smart.
standing nearby as guard.
I'll bring this over and I was like, will it help to stand in water? Iggy? I like look back and forth from Iggy to Beep Boop.
It's a water type. He's not in water. This is what I'm figuring.
Can't really stand on anything. I'm in the wall. If you can make a basin or something and fill me with water, that might be nice. It is really dry in here. I don't know how.
Should we shut you down until we can
It,
figure
like-
out an appropriate cooling supply? I'm
Does it
thinking
have,
you're
like-
water cooled.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I'll just
Okay.
take him
I'm
off the
sorry, but
wall
Iggy, give
and
us
put
a
him in the
second.
basin.
We don't want to break you.
Yeah,
I don't want
let's.
to break Iggy.
That makes sense. Let's wait before you go. One more question: the archivists, were they some more of your leap loops, or were those other things? I'll start unscrewing things.
They're tough to think about,
No.
but they weren't like us. They were there from the beginning. I think at least some of them were involved in designing or making us. they knew the Rememberer. And helped make the Bastion. They are the ones that put us in the walls.
Those bastards.
Cultists then?
Take it easy, Iggy.
Yeah, we're gonna
I think
figure
while
out
this
a
is
cooling method
happening,
for you.
I'm
Yeah.
watching his core to see if it's like getting worse when he answers or if it's just generally getting worse.
Yeah, I think that'd be up to Beep Boop to. This is like still like these like hairline fractures are like only like Beep Boop's attentive and like expert.
Right, yeah, I would
Yeah.
know. Okay.
I'm keeping my eye on him, but I'm gonna start unplugging him and start getting him down from the wall.
Iggy, if we can sort out your cooling situation, you're okay to come back. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
Sorry, bud. We're gonna figure this out.
Fascinating. They made
Yeah.
these constructs for so many different purposes.
Well,
I suppose it
so many
makes
different
sense
environments
because-
and peoples. I mean, there's a water
Exactly.
people he went to at least.
I mean, there are so many types of
attached
water
to.
peoples: elves, tritons, merfolk.
I can't help but thinking about snake leap loops and how cool they must be.
Just continue.
But the ones that go visit the ONT, they just specifically have like knives built in that cut open chests and shit like that.
Built in for ritual sacrifice.
Extra fact.
Hello, my friend. Looks like you're trying to sacrifice many humanoids at once. Use this chest ripper.
That's exactly.
Did what did the water people come back? Is that what he asked?
Mhm.
Okay.
The sea people, yeah.
Yeah, or the sea people.
I'll take the body down and start putting it in the basin of water that Quilla brought. Hey, Shippy, did you catch anything in there?
Interestingly, no. Iggy seems to have a significant capacity to resist my efforts, but I'll keep at it.
Could I tell that he read my mind?
They just did surface thoughts off of you, so until you didn't have a saving throw.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was like definitely like the insight check.
Mhm.
Like there's definitely some like multiple of you like noticed like this like attention being paid. And I think you could like with those insight checks could like put two and two together that like that's a potential like thing. Like
Like if he, especially if he has a mind block or mind blank kind of thing.
I
Then,
wonder
yeah.
the way Leap Loop was able to read anything written, because Iggy focused on you, Quilla, as well as Noose and who else is here besides Beep Boop?
Xerox.
But not also besides Xerox, but overlooked. Oh yeah, and I don't know if he focused on Tehran, but overlooked
Yeah.
Xerox and I and me, and we are the ones with mind blank on. So I wonder if that's a possibility, and that could be what set off our friend Togotots if he recognized that in him.
I mean,
Odd that
Interesting.
it's odd that Togotots would identify that as an evil character trait. What if that's just the means he is given to communicate with the sea people he's referencing?
Could be,
Has,
but it could
has
also be that
Togotots ever
Togotots.
thought anyone wasn't evil?
Yeah, that's what.
are you guys having this conversation away from Togotots and Leap Loop?
In our brain.
Togotots effed off, I thought.
Yeah.
You guys have, that's right. You guys
I
have
meant both.
stories, so
So there's this awkward silence we're all in.
Yeah.
Togotots, what makes you think that Iggy is an abomination?
We must always be on guard. And did you see his eyes? Very unsettling.
Very unsettling.
Just
Uh,
the fact that he had them.
Just racist. Just blatantly racist.
Yeah.
It's from a different time.
Quilla,
People were put in space
perhaps
as
you could use
automaton
your
guards.
sense magic abilities.
What?
Perhaps you could use your sense magic abilities.
My sense magic abilities? Wait, do I have
Detect
those?
magic.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
eyes that detect magic.
I do have detect
Don't
magic.
fit me.
You're doing
Yeah.
it all the time.
I know. Sorry, my first. Yeah, I'll
No, I will detect thoughts as well and see what fun we can get into.
yeah, I mean I can use detect magic. I wonder, Beep Boop, should we not see if there's a way? Didn't you say you were maybe going to try to cool him? Do you think this bath is enough, or I don't want to cause more damage trying to
well,
talk to him before we know what hurts him.
before I turn him back on, I was thinking of trying to repair some of that core with some bellstone slash. Do we have any of that yellow liquid left over? No, not the yellow stuff. The silver liquid.
Do you have any cold iron around him? On him?
I don't think those Leap Loop had it. Like, I don't think Leap Loop had any. So
Maybe not.
I'm assuming this one doesn't. Wait, did Leap Loop? Hold on, I can't remember if Leap Loop had some.
Don't think Leap Loop had any. Always good to check though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll check. You trying to go into the hells again?
Absolutely, Shadowfell. Here we come. When am I not trying to go into a different plane?
I mean, good point. Good point.
That's true. Does he need water like inside him somehow, not just around him?
Can I see any structures for water to go inside of him aside from his gills? I will call them, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I think with those pretty amazing rolls earlier, you kind of like follow like you're like now like seeing like the aperture through which they were like basically was like smoking was not the same as the gills, but like it just more directly feeds a like capillary system like within their body that also can be fed through like the gills, but it's just a more efficient like shortcut into that system, basically seemingly for the delivery of these little like moisturizing cigarettes. But
Did he smoke it through his mouth?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just checking.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend wet.
Wet. No.
Can I bubble wet?
No. I'm just
uh,
imagining a wet cigarette now. It's so unappetizing.
but yeah,
So much
there's
healthier for you.
submerging it. You think probably flood that same system with water.
But it's like, so there's like, that just takes it everywhere. Can I follow it through? Does it like run internally forever, or is it like
Drained
in and out?
Is it like a computer system where it's like closed in there?
No, yeah, it's like there's like layers where it looks like it's like water from the gills like could infiltrate into this like capillary system, or like the same infiltration could like go through like the mouth. But it seems like there are like parts inside that like do like are components of like the what very much seem to be like pumps or something, things like for moving the water through their body. There are like elements in there that like look, you know, they definitely look like they are meant to be like hydrated constantly. And that's just like what that like these like little magic cigarettes do, is just like a different way of like maintaining hydrated. It's like a, you know, scuba tank. It's like having a breather or something. But I'm sorry if I did not understand the question that you're
No, that's
asking.
fine. That makes sense.
No, yeah.
Well then, I'm gonna toss him. Do we have a barrel? Anybody got a barrel in here?
Or like a bubble? Can we put him in a bubble of water?
Well, you could
we-
like drape like a cloth over that and then just have water pouring on top of it.
So we're
Like a little
waterboarding him.
recreation.
A barrel of
Yeah,
water?
waterboard his gills and just have him sit in the water, and you just have a pump recycling that through the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
one
a
of the
barrel
one that's
jacuzzi.
right now still needs to be plugged into the wall to be turned on at all, to be functional. Like it's a they're not operable when they're
So it
taken
can't
off
be
of the
water.
wall.
It can be liquid cooled. He can be liquid cooled. It just can't be water.
Yeah. Maybe like just have like, you know, kind of like a tub, like a dunk tank thing, like
Yeah.
where
I'm imagining like a
Yeah.
barrel. Yeah.
We
submerged.
build
Put
a
a
tank
barrel on top of his
thing,
head.
and
Oh, wait a second. I mean, this is all right. This is beyond Tehran's thought process because he's too stupid. But like, what about using the Zephyr to keep him cool?
Zephyr cool. Loop loop. Iggy loop.
How about this? We'll work on building him a more succinct system so I can at least power him off the wall, and tomorrow we can ask him more.
All right.
Yeah.
And in the
good.
meantime, I'm gonna try to use some bellstone and that silvery liquid to see if I can't like stabilize his core a little bit more, repair some of those hairline crackities.
Yeah. Yeah, give me
Maybe-
a tinker check.
Higher than the last one. 34.
Jeez.
You're able to like fill in these hairline fractures, and like I think you like quickly like train 10 squared like how to do this. And 10 squared like goes and like, you know, does a lot of like the detail work after you like get it started. And you think like this will definitely buy time, but you think that whatever this degradation is, it's going to occur more rapidly with each repair. Like it's a stopgap. It's like a losing battle eventually.
Do I have a sense that he is breaking just because he's breaking, or that because he's not fully formed and we keep turning him on?
These rolls, the more you look at this, the more you're convinced this is not due to just not being hydrated. This is not a mechanical failure. There's something failing internally, like something about this core itself.
No. I don't think we're going to be able to stop this, everybody. We might as well just get our questioning on.
Can
Well,
I use
but
my
if
detect
we
magic to see what about it
We have
is?
limited
if we
question.
can make it to one of the forges, maybe we could repair him.
Yeah.
I like Iggy. Let's not burn the candle out. We could keep him around. I mean, he's at least a water type. Tell me that's not going to come in handy.
I mean, I don't disagree that he's going to come in handy, but
Your detect magic, like I don't think it like shows like there's not like a curse or like a magic damage. So you like still you see the magic involved in the object itself, and like maybe even see like weird like you where like those fractures like become more apparent. But it doesn't show you like a different kind of magic or a different school or like a different kind of magic that's like causing the damage.
I can't tell what school is causing it.
There is no, what I'm saying is
So
there
there is
isn't
no-
an external like curse or other magic
Okay.
that is causing damage to it.
I wonder if the other core we got, if that will also have the same degradation.
And
Or
is
we'd
there
have found a way to power it up.
one way to find out. Sorry, the dog was barking. For some reason.
Yep. It was really well timed. Like
Yeah.
there was a pause where then just as you were about to speak, it went whoop.
I like how Pickle is just antagonizing Pork Chop.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. I plug him back in. He might have an idea. I plug him back in and turn him on. Hey, Iggy, just real quick, you might be dying. I don't think there's anything we could do to stop you breaking unless you have any ideas.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, he's so depressed.
Surely there's
we're-
something we can do.
We're made for a specific purpose to bring knowledge to the bastion. And once that purpose is ended, it takes a long draw. I don't think there's much left for us.
I could give you a new purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the problem with the purpose substantiator drive or whatever. God damn it, we thought we fixed this.
Don't leave him on unnecessarily.
The archivists call it the fundamental attribution problem, or reattribution problem. Or fundamental purpose reattribution problem. There we go. That's all the words. The old FPRP.
Yeah, that's the one. I think they were working on fixing this. They at least fixed it with me. But we're kind of different.
This isn't over, Iggy. I shut him down. It's not wasting any time.
But he
Iggy, as you know, as you're moving forward to shut him down, says, "Look, I've lived a long life. I don't mind going. It's fine. Beep
I think you're cool with your wet cigarettes. Shut up.
I've smoked this long. I knew it was coming. Better die looking cool. Sorry, what was that, Mark? Can you at least let us look through your memories? It could be helpful in figuring out potentially how to save you. Shippy says you're blocking him.
Give me is it a wisdom or an intelligence saving throw for detect thoughts?
Wisdom first, then intelligence.
Yes, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
Not if you don't succeed.
I fail it willingly.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you feel like yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you
Oh,
feel
sure.
this tugging on your mind. The
You don't have to dig, my friend. You could just ask.
they don't Iggy doesn't respond to that in the moment, but tries to, like, you can tell that you choose to fail. Because like when you fail, you don't necessarily know that your thoughts have been like directed and like examined.
Okay.
So I think like you can sense. No, I'll say that like you can sense that there's something there, but you don't know exactly what they are like looking at or like trying to like pull from your mind. Iggy Iggy is pulling at information with that, like you can tell, like not from the magic of detect thoughts, but from I think no, it should be opposed. Give me an insight check. This is a bad
Gladly.
roll, but it's opposed in this system, so we'll have it opposed.
24.
Yeah, you can tell not necessarily from the magic of the detect thoughts that they're doing, but you can clearly tell your thoughts are being like examined in some way, and you understand through their like response and like the response they specifically had about like when you said that they were like they had solved, or like they were solving the fundamental attribution or reattribution, fundamental purpose reattribution problem. Iggy genuinely trying to play it cool behind a wet cigarette, but was actually pretty interested in that piece of information. And says, "No, you can turn me off, or hook me up to the ship or whatever. It's at least gentler, a gentler inquisition here."
We try. Does that mean you don't want to
I
die?
don't mind.
Do our best to treat you well with whatever we have at the end. Oh no.
Just let us know if anything's uncomfortable.
Does that mean you don't want to die? I take it.
I mean, the sloops aren't really alive, so it's not really the question.
Don't say that.
I mean, you're kind of alive. You're in the world of the material and moving and potentially breathing.
Have some sort of some choice, however much constrained it may be.
He doesn't have any cold iron in him, does he?
I don't think we. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, the leap loops did not have cold iron in them.
That's what I thought.
They were of the distinction between the leap loops and like Togetots. Togetots has a core more similar to yours, but bound in cold iron. Or it was.
Yeah, it was. It's not
It
anymore.
was
Yeah,
not anymore.
disintegrated. The small explosion. And then
Small.
a wee little explosion. And then these the loops. The thing that you've learned about them is that like their cores are kind of like in some ways more robust but simpler. And what you learned, like they don't contain the like complexity or like capacity to like contain a soul. It seems like that's like at least like from what you've learned about like the construct of them and like how they were used and stuff in the past, like soul forged in many cases you have learned were actual people that like variously willingly or unwillingly became became constructs. The loops were not people first. They were created kind of artificially for a specific purpose. Big deal.
So, yeah, let us get the information from you as much as we can, and I promise you I'll try to solve this problem. But if I can't, anything else I could do for you? Besides keep you wet.
If you figure out that you can't fix me or whatever, I'd prefer just to be left on as long as I can. There's still satisfaction in learning new stories.
And let me tell you, you're in the right place for it, because we're about to do some shit.
Well,
Look, there's so much information you can gather by being with us.
You could even
If
take it back to
anyone-
Sister Remember if you want to.
No,
Yeah, I
won't. Anyone who can plunder the archival bastion and live to tell the tale is certainly going to be a locus of many more stories, I'm sure.
We're about to go to a vampire city.
Among other things.
Yeah.
So
And
much
we're in
exciting
space
going.
right
Yeah, I was gonna
now.
say. Also,
Yes,
we're on
we're
a
in
mountain.
space.
Well, that's
true.
definitely a new one.
Yeah, we're space. Okay, well, let me get back to you in the morning when I have different spells prepared.
Gives you a nod, finishes off their wet, and is turned off.
I imagine something like a clove cigarette, or it's just like
Yeah.
weirdly funky and smells odd, and like
Yeah.
it's like
So it was just slightly damp and curved.
yeah, just like what is
Slightly
up with
healthy smell, little
Yeah.
umami taste in the air.
yeah.
Takes me back to my building days.
Ah, the good
They're
days.
called umamis. Yeah, nice.
Those are economancers.
Shippy, did you get anything that time?
It seems that our guests did take down their defenses. Had begun to examine their memories before we turn them off.
Is there any way to put him in like a sleep mode so that we can continue to get his memories while we're working here? How long will this take you?
While they're turned off, an infinite amount of time.
Okay, when he's awake.
With your roles, I think like you're the expert with that, and like I think you quickly like put together that anytime this thing is on and like being like interacted with, like there's degradation that's going to be happening. You could like try a sleep mode to like reduce that drain, but like any amount of like anytime this thing is like active in any meaningful way, it's going to be slowly degrading, it seems.
Okay,
Those
Shippy,
fractures.
did you find any interesting information?
Only the outermost edges. I think the people they referred to as the people of the sea used to live in a city that was connected to Scotia.
Oh.
Oh.
Huh.
And then it got blasted into space, or
Blasted is right, but not into space.
blasted with what?
I'm not sure. They seem to have blamed it on the land dwellers.
They would.
Where was it? Near where the maw is now?
I think so. They called it Scopia Scar.
Oh fuck.
It was actually two cities combined, one in the sea and one on land.
Aw. That sounds nice.
The one in the sea got blown apart.
That sucks.
George Lucas finally rectifying the Gungans.
I'm going to look up these references in the library.
I'm going to help.
Crazy. Good job, Lee Bloop. Or
It's been my pleasure to
Damn
be
it.
an aid in this endeavor.
Leap Loop, is
you
your
too, Lee
core
Bloop.
undergoing any damage?
I'm not sure. Perhaps our friend could take a close examination.
I'll take a
Oh,
look. But he never successfully got his information back to the Bastion, so I think he's probably okay, but I'll take a
That's
look.
probably true, yeah. That would make sense. Yeah, let's look just in case to be safe.
Beep boop, to your dismay, Leap Loop is in perfect health.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Do I notice anything different about how he's set up compared to how Iggy is set up that would make me think that they've solved this fundamental purpose reattribution problem?
Yeah, you don't think so. Like, yeah, those rolls are going to be doing you some good. Few 30s in a row give you some leeway for some further questioning, I think. I think that you come to a couple conclusions. One, Iggy was made, judging by the designations, was probably made later than Leap Loop.
Okay.
And they certainly, by the time they made Iggy, they had not solved that problem. If that was a problem that these models had any intention or desire to solve in the first place.
Yeah,
that might
they
be-
might.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's maybe not a priority. If they just need them back to just remember, then.
Not a priority, or they just don't want them to be reused.
Mhm.
Is Shippy prone to this fundamental purpose reattribution problem?
Just disintegrates around us.
Well,
Shippy wasn't created the same. Shippy was like found in the astral sea.
oh,
He wasn't
okay.
created. Well, I'm assuming you were found in the astral sea, Shippy. You're
My first memories sure come from the astral sea.
yeah. You just kind of found that blobby blob out there.
I wonder if studying Shippy's core would help solve this problem for the leap loops.
Well, maybe studying mine.
Oh,
Somewhere in the astral sea, the
Yes.
ship be waiting for me.
Me. I'm so happy that that just happened. Thank you. Such a good song.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna look not through the Flesh Shapers book, but
I don't know if Beep Boop was created. Like Nazira doesn't know that Beep Boop. I mean, apart from the word Soul Forge, which is pretty self-evident, and the fact that we know that Arcanomancers did that sort of thing. I don't think Beep Boop's been open about that, so Nazira doesn't mention anything about that. I don't think.
I thought Beep knew, or I thought we knew that Beep was maybe from one of these forges.
the
We
Soul
know,
Forge was
yeah.
made at the Bitter Class Forge, which is the one deep into the Children of Set territory, and it's covered with snakes.
Oh,
No,
I
wait,
thought that was the
No,
jungle.
that's the
Forge.
verdant. That's the
that's
verdant.
the Verdant
Forge.
Forge, correct.
And that had to do with something like Shippy.
Yeah, where is the Bitter Class Forge? Verdant Forge had to do with the sea. No, not the sea. The Seed, which is currently
Right.
in. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Where is the Bitter Class Forge?
Manifest
Yeah.
Forge.
You guys confirmed the Verdant Forge is in the jungles of the Children of Set,
Mhm.
south of the Thousandfold
Wait,
Braid.
wait.
beyond-
The bitter class
Didn't we
forge
have a
was-
whole, like last time, didn't we have a whole dialogue with Shippy about, well, don't look at this unless you feel comfortable, Shippy, because this is where you were made, so maybe it might be too much for you to handle when we were spying on the Verdant Forge.
Hmm.
We had some reason we thought there was some association.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
a
think
couple things.
that Shippy, that's where Shippy was created.
Yeah, the Verdant Forge, from the Journals of the Flesh Shaper, and was there one other source? About the life seed crystals. That you think that Shippy's core is one of these things. It's been like some big magic has been done to it to bring it to life and bring it to something like animate personhood. So Shippy is one of these things. And the Flesh Shaper, and this was like an insight made by Beepu by reviewing the Flesh Shaper. That's right, reviewing the Flesh Shaper's journal and like seeing like diagrams of a light seed crystal and like showing how it's like changing over time and like in a way that's very reminiscent to Shippy's heart. The Flesh Shaper was going to the Verdant Forge to acquire, make use of some light seed crystal power. So there's like, some assumptions, some ideas that Shippy's, core might have been made or like come from that place.
Or
The
if they, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was
Or
gonna
if
move
they
to-
found Shippy and then built the forge after studying Shippy, built the forge on based on Shippy's schematics or whatever.
Yeah. If he comes from
could be
somewhere
another-
else.
If he is from the actual sea instead of the forge.
The bitter clasp, I think, did get mapped.
It's in a demiplane. Hold on, I can't hear anything. Give me a second.
Just below, or maybe in Koram.
The Thunder Forge you heard is in Quran, but you don't have like confirmation of that yet. And then there was
The fourth forge, but we don't know
fourth
anything about it.
forge that I'm pretty sure you don't know anything about.
I don't have a name for the fourth, at least that I wrote down that day.
There were, yeah, I think like more forges were like numbered than named in that journal entry.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, there was one that was not named.
Yeah, he tells us of at least 4 forges that Togotats might have come from.
Yeah, like there was some, yeah, you guys learned, yeah, because you learned also from Leap Loop himself, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because he learned
That might be
some
where I was.
from
Yeah, that was them
Ozai.
talking with Loop Loop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed where the bitter clasp was because
The
Reason.
bitter
Dwergar
class,
territory.
yeah, in Dwergar territory.
In the
Iron
Ironbound Hills.
Too. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Not
Okay.
that
No,
you can
it's
see
just
this
great.
at
We're
all.
just saying like we're just being helpful in the same way with the same timing.
So we gotta go there, right?
Among all the other world crisis ending things that we need to do.
We can't
Sounds
jet off.
good.
We have a meeting in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Be
to be
better off-
fair, like many of the like adventure arcs that you guys have gone on, especially with like being able to teleport and Shippy, like have been like a day.
Okay.
So like
True.
True.
so definitely like the way I'm imagining this and like is like you guys having time to do like a thing or two between now and like when the war council happens. But if you guys want to like spend like the full like downtime, you can do that. But like with the pace of things and your guys' exceptional talents, it's just it's totally up to you
What if
what
Ray
you
had
want to spend your
insight?
time on.
I'm down to go wherever, honestly.
Yeah,
My main goal is behind what's happening with the war council, so what happens in between now and then, as long as we don't die.
I received some really disturbing news this morning, but we might actually be able to turn it to our advantage if we want to go to the Bitter Class Forge.
Nazir,
It
you've always
seems
wanted to
that
kill some
my-
Dwergar.
What news? Is everything all right?
Well, I mean, Pasa is very compromised, and Vance said that my family is basically gotten full control of shipping rights with the Imperium. But that means that they're also in league with the Dwergar. And that means that Windblown Trading showing interest there, or may have maybe a legitimate point of contact to at least the Dwergar community there.
Do you think? Do you think we should go to Pasa to put a stop to whatever's going on there as well? I mean, if we know anything about what the Imperium has been doing, they set up a sort of diplomatic, and then they subvert it with some evil plot to take
Yeah.
over. They may need
I mean, that's a
a
good
big
question.
help gang.
We may need to go to Pasa and kick them out. That's
Yeah.
another route.
That may be a way to throw down the gauntlet and saying you're going. No, you're not going any further until you deal with this.
Yeah. The risk there would be that hastens our fight with the Imperium into something, that we wanted to have the War Council behind us for. But I also would love to see Pasa cleared. I think Quilla starts to get like a little teary. She's just like, I can't stand the Whispered Litany being there and having control of my family.
I know if it was my family, I would certainly be going there without question.
My family's pretty complicated, but I'm definitely not okay with what's happening right now.
I would never pass up an opportunity to throw my hammer at the Whispered Litany.
Yeah, maybe that's where we go. I wonder if there's a way we could. She's been accessing or communicating with my father through this closet in his office. If there's a way that we could trick her into thinking that she's still communicating with him, but him not getting the message or something. I don't know.
It's a good thing we
Yeah.
doctored those plans for the arcane circles.
The what? Oh, for the circles in all the cities.
The circles.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean we've got those going. When you say doctor them, you mean
Remember when you met with your father originally? We decided that we would alter the specifications so that they would not be able to make them connect correctly.
mm,
It was a long time ago. You might have forgotten.
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that sounds really
That
familiar.
does
like,
sound,
with
I do
the-
remember that now.
Yeah.
Some vague notion
We
of
didn't really play through it because we were kind of in a rush to meet the rest of the party. But
that's right.
I did
think
I did
also-
say we need to do that.
Yeah.
One of the things about the teleportation circles also is that that's those are what, like it takes like what, a year? or
Yeah.
something of
It takes
casting?
a long
Yeah,
time.
it takes
to
a
make
long
those
time to
happen.
set it up.
Yeah. So
But we don't want them to have access to other teleportation circles in the network or anything like that. Because if you're a
Right.
mage and you go to a teleportation circle, you can just remember it,
Yeah.
and then it'll be on your quick travel list forever.
Right.
yeah, yeah, can't stop that.
It's true. They are a threat as well as an asset.
Indeed.
And can't you create a temporary one? Because I thought changes to like a long-standing teleportation circle meant you had to cast it in the same spot every day for a year.
You do if you want a permanent
Dude,
one.
that's what we wanted to do among the free cities in the long run.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
set plans in motion for that, but it's.
And
I mean, that
that's
was like
that's the plan
ago.
your father took to the Imperium.
Maybe, probably part of it.
I remember you mentioning that, it was mentioned specifically during that time, which is
Mm,
why it made me worried.
like it was mentioned when he was talking to the litany.
Yeah, when we were fast forwarding through that.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
mentioned that.
yeah. When
That's
I
right,
think in like
that's
the
right. He
conversation
was-
with you and
that's right.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
added a tab for the forges, so we no longer have to have this conversation about where the
Thank
forges
you.
are. I got two of the three that we know. I forgot the third one already. so-
Okay, I can find it.
Burden to bitter clasp and thunder.
I'll add. Oh yeah,
Thunder Forge, yeah. Thank you so much for putting it.
I know, smart to have that document that we're all using. Under in.
Only while playing this game was a good time to also update those things, but that's
I
not
It's
I
not,
know.
it's not
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, so why don't we go into a little bit of a break here? But what are you guys thinking of for the rest of this session? I'm sure there's probably maybe we can get into some of Nazira's long-awaited legend lores.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
we need to do
So
and
that.
then we can try and wrap up the session with a plan for what you guys want to do
Yeah.
in between now and the War Council.
I think if we're
I
gonna
think
get
Nazira also wants to teleport home to get sorry, Quilla, to get bedding because she just realized that Vitaria doesn't have any bedding here, and neither does Doppelzox.
To get bedding? Yeah. Yeah, double
spruce
lots
up
and
the place.
Pentecosts have definitely found some like weird semi-animate like bed that like conforms to your body, but they like Doppelzox destroyed it. Like and sometimes it's like an abomination, and zero Doppelzox is like, yeah, and just burned it.
And also put in orders for all the other stuff they're gonna need to make this thing go off and
Yeah.
talk to her
Yeah.
parents. But she doesn't have to do that tonight. She can do that later too.
There's a whole side quest of the
Yeah.
adventures of
We
Double
can do that. You do that during the downtime.
I feel like there's like a comic, web comic side. Adventures of Doppelzilla on Mount Island.
We've got so
I feel
many
like
weird
Shippy
things.
would. I feel like Shippy would know. Well, maybe I don't know what Shippy knows, but I feel like Shippy would know the best locations for sundries for like having a small, I guess, NATO meeting. Like he knows like where to pick up necessaries for courting a small group of politicking
Diplomats.
diplomats. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say
Anyway.
NATO. We don't have any Nazis.
Yeah.
And honestly, Doppelxerox is probably more familiar with this place than we are.
Yeah.
Doppelzox.
These days, yeah.
And so is Vitaria. They've been
The
here the
last
longest.
extra couple days.
Yeah. Yeah, so
It's not that long. Is it?
if you guys want to think about like yeah, just like because you guys have also talked about like getting some like more hirelings and like support from Valpreet and Ketan for like securing this place and also just making sure it's safe for the lobotomites and stuff. But yeah, so you guys can definitely like think about just kind of putting some of that work on your NPCs and hirelings and allies. They'll be they're definitely in an advantageous position for sure. You definitely set up your allies here on Mount Ainaru to do well, and they're powerful people. And if they're supported with people from like a Vodka crew from Vodka and stuff, like you guys are pretty confident they'd be able to handle who knows what now Ainaru could throw at people, but a lot. So yeah, definitely like be thinking about like that, like how you guys want to use and like kind of suggest for use your closer allies and kind of like suggest direction to your broader base of support with like people in the free cities. So again, like yeah, like my thought was maybe another short adventure or maybe two depending on how long it takes, but a short adventure between now and the War Council, and then War Council happening and you guys probably after that going to Loomis or something. But really again up to you, but just like figuring out so we don't spend any. I think 2 sessions is enough for a Mount Ainaru break and planning pods.
Yeah.
We
I
can make
think
this
one
go
thing.
on.
Yeah, it's true.
If we're going to if we're looking at going to Pasa, then we should also include checking in with my grandma,
Mhm.
since she's our safe contact there as far as we know.
Well, why don't we take a 5-minute break and then we'll do some maybe do some legend lore since we've done
Yeah.
a few other groups, and then we'll make some decisions about what's next for
Sounds good.
BHG.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
puppy. Giant doggo.
Joel, I need some exercises for my lower back.
What'd you do?
I think I'm just old, buddy.
Anti-vamp.
Anti-vamp.
So here's
Uh,
my notes on it is he found a bound book that was found by flesh and stone, and then he was an ancient one
What?
from an ancient city.
Okay.
Wait, he found a book that was found
You
there?
found the Necronomicon?
Well, one side was flesh and one side was stone,
Oh,
and it was
one
in your
side was-
yeah. That's what you
Okay.
found in your library while you were looking him up. I didn't know if it was
Oh,
something
okay,
that was
okay.
relevant.
Okay. Interesting.
He's a predator more friendly than most, and he's
Hmm.
eager to please. And then you had a
You
weird
said it
vision
was
about the
made
city.
out of flesh and bone, and I was
Okay.
like, that's just a person.
But we didn't know if he was good or like it didn't tell us if he was his intent.
Yeah, I said it was more friendly than most. That's
Yeah.
good intent.
I mean, but you know, you could be a friendly bad guy.
No such thing.
Right. All villains must be caricatures.
They're always cackling in front of a lightning storm.
Between their
Yeah.
monologues.
Monologuing, covered in words, cackling,
Yep.
Just
steepling their fingers menacingly all the time.
why do
Could you
you
let-
do that?
Could
Okay,
you let
so-
Weird
could you,
British accent.
could
I
you
won't get
legend
much-
lore on Quilla's dad?
It has to be a legendary person.
I mean, he's well known in the shipping world.
Legendary to some.
Yeah, it has to be
LOL.
a legendary person or object, like something of historical significance. I think. Right, Mark?
Yeah, I think that's yeah. Oh yeah, it did just bring up the legend lore text as well.
Did we ever do a legend lore on Whispered Litany?
Not that
Be a
I'm aware
great
of.
target.
I don't think
That
so.
would be a really good one.
Yeah.
Almost Google whispered litany.
I mean, yeah.
You're gonna find your own fan page, Mark.
With all my secret lore. The one place I'm super organized is where I'm like telling like randoms on the internet all about the game.
Yeah.
And that stuff. I'm like, oh, I just never get organized enough for this for you guys. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, that's a good one. The Imperium and its previous iterations thereof. Okay,
Oh,
which
Igni.
one should I do first?
Oh,
Has everyone added what they want to add to the list? We're taking Visigoth off because we don't get 2 legend lores on the same item.
I want to know more about if there's anything to be known about the Imperium's re-education process.
Okay.
ooh, I have one.
I don't.
Sorry, the last one.
It has to be about a legendary person, so never mind. I just thought about that.
Or object. Or.
Object.
What about
Yeah.
that sunflower thing that we saw beaming light onto the city at Loomis?
Well, I was just thinking we could do the city of Loomis.
Okay. You know better than I do. This is your spell. You go for it.
Yeah. And because you have to have like a name. You can't just be like
Sure. No, I
this
get it.
big thing. Yeah.
I'm very vague to the spell itself.
Do we want to do all the forges?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Too bad we don't know the name of the last one.
Maybe.
I mean, we know
Well,
the
we'll
most
start with
important two.
Yeah.
We know
And
3 names.
Thunder
If we start
Forge.
with those, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if there's like some. I mean, we could like look in the legend lore for some kind of classification that could be used to help find another one, or
Okay,
like
let's do
maybe a
it.
more broad spread.
Let's do it in this order. Whispered Litany, since she seems to be interfering in pasta.
Yeah.
You want to know Bitter Clasp or Verdant first, Beep Boop?
God, if you would have asked me 2 seconds ago, I would have said Verdant, and now that you're asking me, I would say Bitter Clasp because I want to go
Bitter
there
Clasp.
next.
Okay. And then Verdant.
It'll be a fight to go to the Verdant.
And
A
Thunder.
snaky fight.
Do we need to reconfine the Necronomicon at some point, or
I think that
like
cat is out of the bag, and there's
I
no
don't
putting
think
it
we
back
can.
in.
I don't think we can.
there's no Pandora's box to
That'll
close?
be the next campaign arc.
Okay.
For new
Yeah,
characters.
that would be
Okay.
that would be an
Myth.
entire.
It's
That
just
is
gonna-
a
Lingering
giant.
Forge.
we
Y'all
have
just let it
Every
go.
problem you solve, you create another adventure.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dead World is.
Crawling darkness.
Yeah.
What?
was it? You don't know what is?
Dead World, Beep Boop, you put that on here?
Bro, the Dead World is the whole other world that was created that the Life Seed was going to go and give
Oh.
life to. It's
The life seed.
the Life Seed is the thing that looks like
Yeah.
Shippy that the
Oh, I
Imperium
know.
is using.
I was thinking that could be something interesting to legend lore potentially if there's more to learn there.
It's on the list.
Okay. I might have lost some things because I was.
Dead World
Look-
doesn't have a name though, so I don't know if I can do it like that. But I
Oh.
can do Life Seed, and then hopefully that'll give us some insight into the Dead World.
Facts.
All right, let's start with Whispered Litany. I lay out my incense and my ivory and sit in the midst of my arcane circle in a trance.
Yeah. You begin this spell that you've done on numerous occasions to plumb the depths of knowledge that lay hidden. And you do it, I think, this time with how do you think your recent adventures into the plane of negative energy and the realm of Sister Rememberer, like do you think that's influenced Nazira's practice or like wielding of this sort of like magic?
I think that encounter with like the nullification of everything spooked her quite a bit, and so she wants to fight against it as much as she can, and to distance herself from any wisps of nullification that she feels on her soul still.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of clinging like a smoke trail.
Yeah. You feel your awareness just depart your body, just like
I
go
was real scared.
internal first through like into your mind and into like your concentration and meditation on this first query, the Whispered Litany, and you find yourself transcending outside your body, outside of the material realm, and once again you find yourself wandering the endless halls of this kind of just like, once again, like just, physics breaking space where you see it looks like almost like the interior of an immense like spaceship or something, but it just proportions beyond anything. It's like there's an entire like sky and clouds in between like you and like the floor, like the library you can see above you. It's just like circles around and all around this giant internal space, this infinitely progressing like I think it's like octagonal or hexagonal, like chambers with these hallways interweaving this space that holds so much knowledge of interest and of import, as well as so many mundane things. You walk by and through so many hallways of just like just like so much just like slice of life things of just like, these people who've told stories and tales time and time again, stories of personal import and familial, cultural, like all these things being recited in various spaces in here. And you find you were not walking the halls alone. There's someone else or something else walking this library, this infinite library with you.
Who's there?
You look behind you. I'm sorry, did you ask who's there?
No, like I would turn to look. I was
Okay.
asking you as the DM.
Yeah. You turn to look behind you over your shoulder as you see that you like sense this presence, and for a moment you like think or fear that you've brought Sister Remember into this place. This hungry deity, this fallen, broken thing, so desperate for knowledge, you're afraid for a moment that you've brought it into this place of knowledge.
If I feel that, I want to end this.
I'll say that even as that fear arises in you, whoever this is knows that as they know everything in this place. Ogma,
Ogma.
this god walks beside you, and you feel a presence that is assuring in its steadiness in what it knows, as strong as Sister Remember was frightening. This entity that moves beside you with all the solidity of this immense temple to knowledge and memory and understanding itself, unshakable in its foundations. They have no face, but a veil in front of it. They're wearing these like robes similar to those that you've seen on the like spirits that serve as like functionaries and guides in this place that have helped you here before. Ceremonial, not deeply, not excessive in its, not ostentatious, but functionary, and but with some like these like strong lines of like solid colors that slowly shift. Ogma looks to you.
Sarah will
You-
bow or
Oh, good.
curtsy. My Lord Ogma, it's an honor.
The honor is mine, child. You have come here with memories of one I love and barely remember. You have been my mother's home and returned.
Wait, say that again.
You have been to my mother's home and returned.
Sister Remember?
Yes. Walk with me. I'll be your guide today.
Thank
And
you.
the questions you seek, I will do my best to answer. But tell me, is she well?
No.
You
She
see
dwells
like weight and sorrow, and not in their face, but in their shoulders. Go on.
she dwells in the negative material plane and or the plane of negative energy and searches desperately for knowledge of her brother and feeds whatever knowledge she can find to whatever is behind that area that hungers the unraveling, I should
Hmm.
think.
I would ask you not to speak of her brother while here.
Okay.
Sabris told me that she will consume this place one day
Oh,
in the end. And
but
storing what she
surely,
seeks here will only draw her here more swiftly.
say that again.
In kind of like in reference to asking you not to speak of her brother, he said, Agma says, in storing what she seeks here will
Storing.
only draw her here more swiftly.
I will say nothing and nod.
You wish to learn of your enemy?
Yes, the whispered litany.
A title that has had many faces. She is consistent as her siblings, but new with each generation, or rather with each failure.
Hmm. Her soul gets passed on to new hosts.
And the blood grows thin. They are desperate,
Oh, interesting.
which makes them dangerous.
True.
Whispered Litany is one of three
Mhm.
facets of one that would replace the hells. Feeding them in the material will put them back into the hells that they keep with the blood of life. But weakened and vulnerable.
What do you mean the hells they keep?
Pardon?
What do you mean the hells they keep with the? Is
Mm.
it a sub-dimension of hell?
Agma looks, and you can see as you've walked and talked with Agma in this space, you look into this chamber and you see immediately what Gray has described, this vision of the world tree with a fruit that is plucked before it is ripe and set adrift, growing cold. You see a seed growing back in your world, one that you can tell, like in this moment, like is meant. And this, like, you can see, like, there's like a circle of druids reciting this story, each one playing a different part in it. And one by one, they tell this tale of this world that was lost, that was meant to be a living twin, and that the druids drew life from the dying world tree and focused it. And that it could be a seed, it could be an ignition to start life again on that dead world. Agma takes you, like, takes your hand, and like you can see that they've like transformed as you walked from this larger than life scale to one more similar to your own. Looks at you and says, "Your companion plays a piece in the next." And you see a figure of metal and wood take a life seed from its like nurturing, like I don't get a word, but it's gone now. Like little like it's a little like creche, and takes it far from there, and delivers it to a horned figure. And for their service, they are destroyed. The companion Beat Boop has forgotten their own past. They didn't do this alone, and they did it for a purpose, or so they believe. They did not serve the Imperium when they delivered this life seed to them, but they did serve one of the five divine.
Oh. And indirectly,
To answer your question, what should have been something that gave life to a new world has instead been
brought
used
hell.
to bring torment and hell to untold souls, and delivered many of them seemingly unscathed after untold torment back to the world, made fearful and cowed.
Is that how they re-educate? That would make sense.
I'm not there, but I have questions.
I mean, my body's still with you guys, so maybe if you shout it out loud enough, then I can hear.
I'm tracing letters on your back. She's got to still be able to feel this, right?
I feel like when you know, send your consciousness into the heavenly
Yeah.
library, your body is an afterthought.
And alas, Rory's does not extend beyond the plains.
Damn it.
Which of the 5 did Beep Boop serve?
uh,
I'm so proud.
Alma does say that the usual spiel about my connection to your world and its history is limited and fueled by your power. So you will need to. We'll go through another.
Hey, I will spend all the spell slots I need.
Yeah. But there is an upper limit, so I just want to make sure we're tracking
Alright,
that.
alright.
Yeah. There, and this is a very much a generous helping out of the legend lore.
Yeah.
So Ogma effectively kind of directs you to like basically. I think in that moment there's I think in that moment I think between each of these this is where the lifeline is for Beep Boop. I think between each of these there is a moment where you come up for air back in your own body for like a minute or two before you cast the next spell. So if there's something that Beep Boop, if there's something specific you wanted to communicate, Beep Boop does not know this stuff. You have not communicated this stuff to Beep Boop, but if there's something you wanted to pull between Legend Lords. But otherwise, yeah, cast it again with a different subject. We'll go again.
Yeah, I'd like to give them a little summary when we except leaving out all the stuff about Sister Remember, because I will never speak of that.
Probably smart.
Yep. You know, Savra sees a lot of things. So maybe this doesn't have to be. This is just one possible ending to the library. Nazira does not say to any of you, but thinks to herself quietly.
I would just ask, is it possible to heal that amount of physical and psychological torture
That's a good question.
for someone who has gone through it?
Yeah, is there a way to heal Sister Remember?
I mean,
And what are the
Well, I can't
some of
ask
the
that.
consequences? Yeah, we can't.
I'm specifically asking it in regard
For the victims of the Imperium.
About the table.
and
Oh.
Xerox is dead.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yes. The harm done there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question.
I knew one of Nazira's earliest theories is that somehow Ashemadai had created like a pocket hell for this
Yeah.
world. I remember telling you that a long time ago, Mark.
Yeah, that was right on.
um. Okay, Beep Boop, did you want me to ask anything?
No, you already asked the question. The most
Okay.
important one.
All right. Which one did Beep Boop serve? I don't know if we got a response to that or if that was just part
Yeah.
of the.
Which one Beep Boop served?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ogma says a god whose domain overlaps with your own interests. Savras,
Hmm.
the architect of so much that has transpired in your world.
Hmm. You know, between you and me, Ogma, he sees a lot of things. So there are multiple possibilities.
It is yet to be seen if what he has built will benefit your kind.
True. Um,
That is always the test of diviners. Time.
True. Is there a way to heal what has been done to those people by this twin world of hell?
Your world rests on the knife's edge, and when its fate is decided or given fully to you to its own determination, old contracts may be enforced or reassessed.
I see.
It would take a great intervention to give pause or rejuvenation to those souls. By their time in Hashemadai's hell, their souls have already been marked for that fate. But, as I said, the balance of things were to shift one way or another in totality, there would be a window for the enforcers of such contracts to be called upon.
I understand.
See, there's a chance.
See, there's
What of these forges that created Beep Boop, Shippy, possibly the Leap Loops, the Verdant Forge, Bitter Clasp, Thundering Forge, and one we have not yet uncovered?
Each a place of great power. Throughout history, at times, wrested from control of one faction to another, not always of a single purpose or intent. Bitter class, most notably effective at prescribing the horizons of the forged souls, binding them to a purpose. The verdant forge, most capable and known for creating things capable of making themselves new, making themselves or changing themselves. The thundering forge, most profoundly a useful if diminished place, much of its energy gone to creating not a hell, but a green haven. And the fourth unspoken forge, the inviolable citadel.
I did read that.
The first and most profane of the forges. One place, one forge where the blood will never wash off the walls. For one purpose, creating power in one from many. It rests still in your world, in the wastes. hidden.
Power of one through many.
Creating the power of one thing.
Hidden in the wastes. And what
Someone-
what?
I was just gonna say, is somebody gonna Megazord the Necrox or?
Oh yeah, we have the Necrox deal too.
Full force of Necroarchy. Like one arm that's a whole ancient Dracolich.
And
I
what
had
if
to
the
say it happened today.
what if the city's a city of Loomis?
Hmm.
I'll come back out and come back in.
Yeah,
Come on, prayer.
the city of light and protection for the candle that will ignite the world.
Oh.
It is the resting place for an ancient evil,
Hmm.
unrestful in its slumber. As well as the artifact stripped from a champion of suffering.
Yeah, those are two
Seems
separate
like
things.
Ogma's referring to the vampire lord as well as the
Okay.
wand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's still asleep. He's good.
But unrestful.
Yeah, not good.
Says those rulers, fearful of their own mortality, will be their undoing. Alma says Loomis was gifted with a great light. That protects it from corruption within and without. But could easily be wielded to burn the world clean again.
Is there any way to recognize a Shemadi's assassin?
Um, Is it Ashamathalos? That's the
Yeah, Shemathalos. I wasn't entirely certain, but I was like, I'll go with I'll go with
Ashamadal is the body, which is Constance. Ashamathal is like the cudgel or like
yeah.
the edge of the law or something like that.
Mhm.
Ashamathalos, the assassin, Ashamathalos, can take many forms or hide itself from sight. It can also wield great and obvious power. You venture into the Imperium, all three will wield their full strength against you. Talos shows great power in the open. That is not a mere distraction. It is strong, but it wields equal power in the shadows and the darkness. You'd be best served if you wanted to find it, to lure it into a position where they could not help but strike, or attack it at its home.
Where does it live?
Talos does not often dwell far from Constance.
Hmm.
Talos is her shadow when not stalking prey. It is the whispered litany that roams far from home with regularity, bringing the strength of the faith of the Imperium against her foes.
If we trap their souls, will it keep them from reappearing?
You could bind their souls, they would. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you're at. Like, yeah. What are you asking here that would be
My
worthy of
soul trap spell.
letting
Oh,
go?
I guess it's just continuing the conversation.
Yeah, I think like that, like yeah, I think Ogma, yeah, gives you an affirmative like that. You're definitely on a yeah. That's a
Okay.
I think you're just like arcane skill, like gives you enough to like, you're just like looking
Yeah,
maybe
she
for
just,
confirmation
it's
or
nice
something.
to have the god of
Yeah.
knowledge just to give you that assenting little
Well,
nod.
tip of the hat, a wink. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They say that like yeah, they vulnerable as any creature that whose soul transits to a specific place for recovery. A lich, a devil in the hells. If their souls are not captured, they will return to the hells and be reborn into a new body with a new sacrifice.
So I've heard that if you kill an outsider on its home plane, then it's permanently dead. I have not had the opportunity to attempt that, though, fortunately, yet. But I think that's reasonable as well.
Yeah, if you venture into the hells Ashemadai has created, you can slay their children there, their aspects, with finality.
The dagger made of the hell
So
metal
like dead
keystone. That leads. Does it lead to this hell, our hell, or does it lead to the greater outer plane of hell?
Is this something you're yeah, this is the one that you pulled from one of the
I have,
devils.
I have, yeah, I have that dagger. That's
Yeah.
a keystone, made of a keystone.
Yeah. Says like you pull like just do this like thing where you're reaching into your bag. You're like in this space, and like as you
Uh-huh.
think of this thing, it's like almost like a bag of holding. Like you just like comes to you, and you can like show this thing off like as you're thinking of it. Agma says this is attuned to the demi hell that Shemadiah set up
Excellent.
in your realm.
Tuned to Demi-Hill. Where might I find a piece of arborea? A keystone.
Arborea? Arborea is one of the heavens. The heavens, yeah, Agma,
Oh, it houses Arvindor.
yeah. The keystones, yeah, Agma like described like shows you like how like the keystones like correlate to the like material and elemental and like quasi planes, but don't like the heavens themselves don't have keystones. They merely have like the various gods that dwell in them have like influence and will, and just like if like Agma says
Oh,
you would need to speak to a god of that realm and they would grant you a keystone.
I see. All right. Well, interesting. Somewhat disappointing, but interesting. That certainly makes things more.
Sounds to me like you need some of God's blood.
What?
Maybe
What'd you
you
say?
need some of that God's blood.
All right.
Need some of god hunt. Yeah, we're close to 9 o'clock, so why don't we, take a few moments here to plan next session. So you guys have like a war council prepared for like 3 days from
I would
now.
like to say, Ogma, if it would endanger this place for me to come back here, I will never use this spell again.
Agma says you are more than welcome to return. I only ask you respect my request.
Absolutely. I will never speak of this.
Agma says your words in particular can have great power.
Hmm.
You spoke a truth into the world once that Coralin was not ready to hear. I like there's a genuine like kind of pause. I must respect certain requests of me just as I ask you to respect the request I made of you. But know that your journey to understanding is not yet complete. And your longer remembering mirror is not being entirely honest with you. There was something that you wished to ask of me. once. And I believe you stalked these halls for an answer. You once asked of the dream thief.
Yes.
Dreams were not all that Vitaria stole, but whole lives and memories. Zero.
I see. She has not changed then?
She still clings and holds on to things that do not belong to her. I will not speak more of this. Or rather, I wish, I look forward to a day when we can speak more earnestly with one another as peers.
I flip my page. Thank you for telling me, Lord Ogma. I think that is all we had to ask at the moment. I will consider what you have told me and see what I may do.
As I said, you were always welcome to return.
Thank you. I do look very relieved at that.
Your consciousness returns to your person. We're up. Matt, you need to hit the.
No.
Yeah. Do you guys want to spend a couple minutes here just chatting about what we want to do next session? We can definitely also I know there's still we're making so many threads even more loose before we start. I think the last just charge through a lot of these things. So I know there's probably things that feel even more difficult to make a decision, but I think it'd be fun to pick a direction and go on a little
Yeah.
adventure and then do the war council and
I like that.
yeah.
I vote for pasta and then Beep Boop's bitter clasp.
I think that would be my choice too. Pula is hesitant. She's scared of Fossa. Scared of facing her family, but I think she thinks it's important.
It might be, yeah, I think I agree with Pasa. It might be a good opportunity to stop their advance.
Yeah. Let's take back another city the way Ardura did.
Yeah. And Nazira doesn't want Nazira's not Nazira. Nazira doesn't want Aquila's family to be a casualty of all of this. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
The new East India Trading Company.
Yeah. I think oh man, I just had a thought. Lost it. Was worried about the goings on there with their family. I had some other comment now I don't remember.
Well, we need to tell Gray about the seed thing.
He knows about it.
He knows
He
about
told
it. Okay.
he told Beep Boop about it. Beep Boop just didn't tell you all about it.
Oh, so Beep Boop knows that he gave the seed to the Imperium and it became hell?
Beep Boop knows that he gave the seed to the Imperium. He did not know that he was working for a god at the time, and didn't know the other
Alright.
implications of that.
Alright. Well.
Beep Boop doesn't tell you all everything.
What a
I
sheriff.
know it makes it so hard because I'm like, wait, what do I know in character?
Actually,
What do I know out of character? It's so complicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beep Boop doesn't feel the most trusting all of the time, but that's just, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, he had his soul shoved into a construct.
Was Beep Boop a construct when he did those things?
Now that would have been a great question.
Oh, that would have been a great question. I didn't
Retcon.
even think of it.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I did when I described the thieving occurring. I did describe, I think,
Wood and
a
metal.
wood and metal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So he was already soul forged at that time.
Your devious nature
uh,
survives.
Yeah.
as
I
far as
wonder
the
if Beep
future,
Boop was an Arcanomancer who served Savras and then volunteered for
Ooh.
we'll find out when we get to the Bitter
transition.
Class Forge.
Yeah.
Not a moment before.
Beep Boop will begrudgingly go with you all to Pasa if he has to before he has to do what he really wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what we can find in Pasa.
We have to save Quilla's family.
Are we taking the
Yeah.
boat with us? Is the main question that Beep Boop.
Chippy?
No, I think we can teleport there. I've been there before. I
It'd
have
be
a
faster
thing
to
with
teleport.
like Joaquin's symbol on it, or whoever the god of trade is
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
this
could
world.
always Also, you can always teleport with Shippy. That's a thing
That's
you can
true.
do.
That
if
we
you
can
do
do
it for
too.
Yeah, we should do that
If we
because
want it
I have some
beforehand.
leap loops to work on.
That's true.
it.
We should probably make sure Shippy can be invisible and be non-detectable through magical means.
But why? No
Yeah,
one
they
would
can
want to
do that.
steal Shippy.
They want to spy on him.
Yeah. No peeky.
Well, cool. Yeah, sounds like a mission to Pasa next, with War Council stuff going on in the background, like prep. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens after that. How long a trip to Pasa takes the big health game.
2 hours.
Yeah, in and out.
Get there, kill
Easy
her
peasy.
dad, and then, what?
Kill all the windblows you find.
Then they can't do any more evil.
Exactly.
He fell on that sword himself. I had nothing to do with it.
Cool. Yeah,
Mark,
so
I have a spell that might work for non-detection for Shippy.
yeah.
If you have time, look up Mordekainen's private sanctum.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that
Yeah.
one.
I was
It'll work.
looking at that. I think I was wondering if that would work for the actual War Council.
That's what I was thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Beep Boop does have a spell that can make a certain area non-scryable.
Isn't that non-detection?
No, it's a different
Or
one.
private sanctum? Private sanctum?
Can you hallow something?
Mm.
Oh.
A spell? That's a spell, right?
Hallow? I feel like I've heard that.
It's like a druid spell or cleric spell. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll
Thank
prep
you.
for Pasa next sesh, and we'll go to there.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good session.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool.
Thank
GG's.
you, everyone.
GG's, everyone. Take care.
Right, it's the bucket.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah. Grab yourself a one.